Everybody, welcome. It is Monday, May the 20th, and we are here for a Monday Facebook Live. If you're here with me in the comments section, put where you're from and let me know if you have your children helping around the house right now. Because today we're talking about accountability and responsibility and starting that young with your children and why that is so important. But before we get into that, a couple quick announcements. The 365 Common Sense Parenting Tips ebook that I have been working on for the last 3 weeks is almost finished. I originally had planned on it being done for May 31st. However, I'll have it done sooner, probably by Friday. So if you've not gotten it yet, you want it at the pre-lunch rate, you better do it before Friday night because Saturday I'm going to change the price to the regular price. So if you're interested in that, there's no way for me to put the link in here to hyperlink it. So just DM me and just put 365 and I'll send you the link for that. Next Monday, May 27th is Memorial Day here in the United States. So I will not be here on my live. And the following week, June 3rd, I'll be back. And at that point, we're going to be talking about Happy Home Agreements. So some of you have already purchased that. Some of you may be interested in it. If you want that, it's teaching you how to put together agreements, like rules. I just prefer not to use the word rules because that sounds like so demanding. And so I like to call it Happy Home Agreements, that we agree as a family, here's how we're going to conduct ourselves and our behavior. And so we're going to walk through all of that. So if you're interested in that, just put happy, DM me and happy, and I'll send you that. Okay. So welcome again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, because I have people from all over joining us, and I'm excited about that. And we are talking about responsibility and accountability and why it's so important. And I want you to think about this for a minute. In life, we all know there's taxes and death. For most people, where you live, you pay taxes of some sort. We all know we're going to die sometime, right? That's kind of morbid, but it's reality. Reality also is that all through your life, you're going to have responsibility, accountability, and consequences. It's car spelled backwards, RAC, in everything in your life, if you think about this. So in your behavior, in your work, in your household, in your relationships, in your finances, in your health. I mean, just think about it. It's kind of unavoidable. Responsibility, accountability, and consequences. And that's why it's so important you start teaching your children at a young age how to do those things, how to be responsible, how to be accountable, and that they have consequences. So think about this for a minute. You might know somebody in your life, maybe it's a teenager, a young adult, a child, who has never been held accountable for their behavior, or they didn't take care of the responsibilities, and someone's just said, oh, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it for you, or their parents bail them out all the time, or somebody bails them out all the time. So they never have been taught that I have responsibility, I'm accountable for it, and there's consequences if I do or don't do it, right? Positive or negative, there's still consequences. We all know people like that. They become entitled. They blame everybody else. They're never at fault. And when you do that as a parent to your child, when you baby them, when you do everything for them, you are doing them a disservice. Because all through life, responsibility, accountability, consequences. Okay. Hey, Ruth from Michigan, 21-year-old grandson does help. That's great. He should. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about this for a minute. Let me give you some examples. So you have a child and they're in school and they're assigned homework. That's their responsibility. They don't do their homework for whatever reason. That's their accountability piece. They chose not to do their homework. So what do you think the consequence is going to be? They're either going to get in trouble at school, maybe. They're going to get in trouble with you. They're going to be behind in their schoolwork, whatever it is. Or say they did do their homework, right? And so the consequence is, yay, you got your homework done. Mama's happy. They feel accomplished. Teacher's happy it's turned in on time. There's responsibility, accountability, consequences. All right, now, then you have, say, a teenager driving a car, or you're driving your car. That's a responsibility, right? You're driving down the road. You're responsible for your own safety, people with you, and also the people around you. So now you decide you're going to speed. Well, you're accountable for staying within the speed limit, or, let's be honest, sometimes we go a little bit above it. Anyway, you're responsible for being accountable for staying in that speed limit. But you decide to speed. And guess what? Now you got caught. Here comes the police siren behind you because you were speeding. And what do you think the consequence is going to be? A speeding ticket. There you go. Responsibility, accountability, consequences. Okay, am I like driving this home enough? It's really important. So we're going to start young. Now, if you have not already downloaded the responsibility accountability chart, there is a link in the notes for this live. It didn't hyperlink directly to the chart, but you can cut and paste that in a browser and download that. If you're watching this after the fact, feel free to go back and get that and pause this, download that, and then come back so you know what we're talking about. I'm going to see if I can screen share here. I don't know if I can since I'm already in this, but we'll do that in a minute. So why is this important? All right, I mean, we talked about that they have to learn this at a young age. Now, for the chart that I gave you, I'd say probably around 3 years old on up, you're going to implement this. Younger than that, it's pointless, right? They're not going to understand it. But you can have them do little things. Like, I mean, my kids were young, 18 months old even. We'd be done eating, and I'd say, take your plate and go put it over in the dishwasher. And I'd open the dishwasher, and they'd put it in. Or my son was 21 months old when I had a sister. And I said, could you go get a diaper for me out of her bedroom? And he would go get the diaper and the wipes and bring them to me, right? And then I'd say, would you please put the diaper in the trash can? And he would go do that. And of course, I'd say, oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that so much. What a great job you did. So little things like that you can have them do. Pick up their toys. When you change them in the morning or they're changing, have them put their dirty clothes in the hamper. Those are tiny things they can be doing that take a minute or two. If you're brave, you're really brave, you could have them do some dishes. They like that, especially around 2.5. If you want to give them a separate little bin beside you on the counter, give them some plastic dishes and cups to wash. They love that. Now, of course, there's probably going to be water everywhere, but that's okay. They're learning. But as they get older, 3, 4 years old, you can really implement this. Now, if you've had the chart, and I'll just hold this up to show you, this is kind of what it looks like, right? Now, this for a 3 and 4 year old isn't going to work because they can't read. So in this case, you can design your own, and it is pictures. You're going to put pictures because they can't read. So you're going to have pictures over here instead of just listing what the responsibility is. The word chores to me just sounds so daunting. That's why I call it responsibilities. They're part of a family. We all have responsibilities in this family. These are your responsibilities, right? So you can either cut pictures out of magazines or print something off your computer. Better yet, take a picture of your child doing that activity. And then you're going to post that on the chart so they can see, oh, I'm supposed to make my bed. Oh, I'm supposed to put my clothes in the hamper. Oh, I'm supposed to pick up my toys, whatever it is. And you're only going to have a couple. You're not, for young kids, maybe 3 or 4. Pull up your blanket, make your bed. It's like pulling up their blanket. Straighten up your toys, put your clothes in the hamper, whatever. So keep it simple, right? Pictures. Now, as they get older, that's where and they can read, that's where you're going to put the words in and describe everything for them. Okay, but let's talk about why this is so important. Let me look over here real quick. Brenda, hey, cleaned up their toys in the room before lunch. Any toys in the living room before bed? Started them from 2 years on. Very good, very good. And Linda, granddaughter, good. Play cleanup, excellent. Good. So you're playing, she's learning how to do it. It's fun. It's not so burdensome for anybody. It's excellent. Okay, but why is this important? What are your children learning from doing this? Well, when you think about it, they have this chart. And this chart is going to be displayed somewhere central. So in your kitchen, maybe on a wall, if the kids can reach, it has to be within their reach and they can see it. And it's going to live there. Okay, so when they see that and they see it's organized, like I have to do these activities, these are my responsibilities, and then they're going to mark off here and here, it's all organized for them. And they see it's consistent, so they're learning consistency. Every day, if they're school age, I have to get up, I have to brush my teeth, I have to get dressed, I have to get downstairs, I have to pack my backpack, I have to do whatever. So you have that listed, but that then becomes a routine for them, and you don't even have to say anything. Because the beauty of this is, you eventually don't have to say anything. They just know they have responsibilities and they get up and they do them. That's the whole part of it. Okay? So it's very important that they see that on their eye level and they can touch it and they can see it. That's a good thing. Okay. When you give them specific responsibilities, they're learning, oh, I'm capable of doing this. I'm part of the family. Everybody in this family has responsibilities, and these are mine. And it's like very rewarding for them. They become self-sufficient. They're learning they can do things for themselves. It gives them a sense of pride, right? Because they have contributed to the welfare of the household. It's a really cool thing. Let me see. I'm trying to see. Oldest boys have chores. 6-year-old does dishes. Great. Family told me it is not wrong for 6-year-old Tiffany to do dishes. Good for you. Good for you. Okay? I don't know why the family member opposes it, but good for you. Okay. Teaching them, having this chart, they can track their progress. They can see how successful they're being. And they're held accountable for their own actions. Okay? Because they know they have to get up and brush their teeth. Get dressed. And they're going to, when they come down, they'll check that off. But they just know that they have to do that. It holds them accountable. It gives them consistency. It gives them routine. Children need to know what comes next. Always. That's why schedules are so important. It gives them such a sense of security and safety to know what they're doing next. And as adults, we know, oh my gosh, I got to get the kids to school. I got to come home and do laundry. Got to go to the grocery store. You know, our brains are spinning. But children aren't thinking like that. They're getting up and going, oh, I can play today. It's like, no, today is a school day. Here's what you need to do. Okay, so that gives them that consistency, and they know what comes next, and they feel safe and secure. Okay, as they get older with this chart, kids are going to learn time management skills, but as they get older especially. So if you have teenagers, or 10, 11, 12-year-olds, and they have after-school activities, or they have homework, or they have sports, or whatever it is, they need to learn to manage their time around their chores. And when they're older, they can do that. I mean, if you're going to have daily chores, like they have to do every day, right? Pack your backpack, pack your lunch, whatever that is. But then there's going to be weekly chores. That could be things like take out the trash, mow the lawn, walk the dog, water the plants. So there's daily and weekly. And that's going to change as they get older. That'll change. And one thing you need to remember is these are like a fluidic creation. So you need to be adaptable in this because chores may change. I don't like that word. Responsibilities may change as they get older, as situations change. So you need to be able to adapt and be flexible with it with the children, okay? But they know that they have responsibilities and they need to take action to make them happen. Okay, let me see a few of these real quick. I'm going to get back to these because I asked questions, what they're doing. Mother of twins. Oh, hey, Clara Dean. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Congratulations on the twins. Clean up, 1-year-old. Okay, we did that. A 5-year-old son, he's picky eating fruits. Okay. Yeah. Let me just answer that real quick, Lee. He doesn't have to eat the fruits if he doesn't want to eat the fruits. Don't make it an issue. Just pass that on. He'll later. 6-year-old responsible for cleaning up after herself. Very good. Thank you. I love it. She is responsible for cleaning up after herself because you're right. There's other people that live there. That's not their responsibility. And see, that's what's so important about this. Children need to learn very young that they just can't leave stuff out and you're going to clean up after them. I mean, unless you want to be a maid all day long to your family, I mean, if you want to do that, that's your personal choice. But you're not teaching your children anything. That's where the entitlement thing comes in I talked about earlier. So you need to make sure that you're teaching them these responsibilities. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Dishes. Here's one. My daughter, let's take the trash out. Very good. I have a baby 8 months old. Okay. People are asking for a course. I'm not sure what kind of course you want, but you can put it in here what kind of course you want. Mom, kids from Kentucky. Yes, have them all do their chores. Age appropriate. Excellent. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, cool. Best chores for a 4 and 5-year-old. Okay, Victoria, we're going to call them responsibilities, and I'm going to give you some ideas in a minute on that. Okay, so they're learning their time management, their self-sufficiency. It's really reinforcing, by the way, when your child has this chart and they check it off, a couple of things happen. So they're going to, and I'll pull this up again. I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure if I can get it, share it, but I'll hold it up at least to show you. I'm not technologically really savvy on this stuff. Anyway, when they physically have to go and do a check mark, two things are happening. One, they're physically doing this, and then they're visually seeing that they were successful. So here was the responsibility. They were accountable for it. The consequence is it's done. Let me give you an example. Say your child is 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, whatever, and you decide they're going to do their own laundry. That's about the age we taught our kids. And maybe you have multiple children in the family, so you assign them a day. Like Monday is your day to do your laundry. And your child doesn't do their laundry that day. So they were responsible for doing their laundry. The accountability part was they do their laundry on Monday, but they didn't for some reason. What's the consequence? Here's the consequence. You don't have clean clothes till next Monday. Or figure out how you're going to solve this problem, depending on the age. Maybe you have a sibling that would trade days with you. Maybe you have a sibling that would let you throw some of your clothes into their laundry this one time. So instead of you bailing your child out, they have to face the consequence, and you can help them problem solve. Because I guarantee you, if they don't have clean clothes to wear for the week and they're wearing dirty clothes at school, they're going to do the laundry next week when they're supposed to. And are you going to not like the fact that they're wearing dirty clothes at school? Yep. Are they going to not like the fact that we're wearing dirty clothes at school? Yep. But guess what? It's a consequence. I'm saying that's how you teach them. It's not always easy. Okay. That one would do it, because kids will say something to them at school about, didn't you just have that on yesterday? So that's another natural consequence. And I'm a huge believer in natural consequences. Let me just tell you, that's how I raise my children. Things like, hey, it's chilly outside today. You might want to take a jacket when you're going to school. And they don't. And then they come home and go, I was freezing today at school. Okay? The responsibility was, it's cold outside. You know that. You need to take a jacket. I reminded you, you chose not to take one. You were accountable for your own warmth. You decided not to do it. Consequences is you were cold. They'll survive. But they have to learn those consequences. And I don't mean to be harsh about it. I'm just saying you have to stick with your consequences and be consistent with them so they understand. That's how they're going to learn. They need to be responsible. Okay. Like I said, you need to let them figure out, help you with this, especially when they're older. Now, when they're younger, again, you're going to do just a few things. And let me see if I can share the screen. Let me pull this up. Hang on. I don't know if it's going to let me. I don't think I can. Let me do it. I hope this doesn't zip me out here. Okay, wait. I've got something here. Let's see. I'm trying. No, I don't think I can. Okay, sorry, guys. So here's what the chart looks like. And if you downloaded it, great. You should have it in front of you. This was like a sample of what it would be, right? Just a sample. It's a simple format. You can design your own. I just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of what you need to do. Now, with younger children, you can even get a big piece of, poster board. So you can put the pictures up, and then they would have space to check off. Okay, so then this is just what it looks like. So you're going to put the child's name at the top and the date, because every week, so you're going to make multiple copies of this with older children. And then you're going to put their name at the top and the date, and then you're going to write in you're going to write in what their responsibilities are, daily and weekly. If it's going to be the same every week, fill one in and then just copy it over and over and over, so you're not every week having to write the same things. Okay, so then you're going to put it up on the wall. I always recommend somewhere like a central area, kitchen, dining room, something like that. If you keep it up in their bedroom, you're not able to see it easily. So it needs to be down where everyone can see it and everyone's are posted together. Now I will tell you, my daughter has something that she uses for her children. It's not so much for responsibilities. It's more for like activities that are going to happen during the week. So she bought something online. It's like wooden circles and says like school, camp, swimming, whatever. And there's like hooks across, and Monday through Sunday, and they can put the hooks. So the kids get up in the morning and she'll say, okay, today you have school, and then you have to go swimming after, and then we have violin or whatever it is. So they can see not just responsibilities, but they can see what their activities are during the day. And she goes over that with them every morning. So this is a similar thing. So put it where you can see it. Remember, younger children, get pictures. And as they get older and they can start reading, that's when you're going to start putting it in. You also need to sit down with them and have discussions with them and tell them, hey, you're part of the family. We're going to come up with responsibilities that you have. Some of them are things that they have to do for themselves. I mean, you can't sleep for them. You can't go to the bathroom for them, which we're not going to put on the chart, but I'm just saying you can't eat breakfast for them. You can't go to school for them. These are things that they're just natural part of daily life. And that's how you start with the younger children, right? Like I said, make your bed. That's pull the blankets up. Is it going to be perfect? No. Pick up your toys, brush your teeth, get dressed, make sure you have everything in your backpack, or pack your backpack. As they get older, pack your lunch. So those are some of the things that you're going to have on that list. For 4 and 5-year-olds, I wouldn't have more than probably 5, okay, for daily. And then weekly can be things like water the plants, whatever it is that they would have to do weekly. So that would then go on there. If they, or say they do an after-school activity once a week. So it could be prep your swimming gear, get your stuff together, that kind of thing. So you would need to put that on there for them, okay? Questions on this so far? I think this is pretty simple on this. Let me see if there's any comments. A chart with Velcro. Love it. Trelana, am I saying that right? I hope I'm saying your name right. A grandson, a chart with Velcro. He moves the tasks to the other side of the chart. Perfect. Perfect. Once he's done, he just moves it over. That's really good, especially for young kids. I love it. Great idea. Thank you for sharing that. Hello from LA. Good. We have people from all over the place. This is wonderful. Okay. So things that someone said, what did my 4 and 5-year-old do? Let me ask you this. Put in the comments. Oh, good. Put in the comments things that you do have your children do right now. Just throw something in there. Have them pick up toys or whatever. Throw some in there so I have an idea. And these are some things your children can do. They can pick up their toys, whether they do it in the morning before school, after school. If they don't go to school during the day at some point, they have to pick them up. If you're a stay-at-home mom and you have the kids all day. Because here's the deal. You can't do everything for everybody and not totally exhaust yourself. You have to let them help. And I know one mom said, I had done a reel a couple weeks ago about doing your own laundry, starting them to do their own laundry when they're like 6, 7, 8. And she said, I want my children to enjoy their childhood. I'll worry about that when they're teenagers. That's fine. That's personal choice. But she's waiting to teach them that responsibility. And that's fine. They may be doing other things. So you choose what's important to you and your family. But have them do something. Please stop doing everything for your children. Please stop catering to them. Please stop wearing yourself ragged because you're trying to do everything for everybody and you're not taking care of you. Because if you're not taking care of you, everything falls apart. We know that. Mom's the glue. We get it. Okay. Sweep the floor. Okay, great. Here's some ideas. We're going to show you these. 2-year-old puts his dirty clothes in the laundry, cleans up his table after eating. Yeah, obviously, it's not going to be perfect. So you have to be patient with this, especially the younger ones. Sweep the floor, set the table, pick up their toys and art materials when they're done. Excellent. 7 and 5 years old. That's excellent. Absolutely. You can have them feed the pets, water plants, set the table, put the dishes in the dishwasher, put their clothes in the basket. I'll tell you another thing my daughter did. So she decided, like most families, the laundry seems to grow overnight when you're sleeping, right? And it seems like there's always laundry to do. And so it just gets annoying. So she bought a basket. Now, they're 2.5, 4, and 7. So she did this for the 4 and 7-year-old. She bought a laundry basket. They have their names on it. When they get undressed, their clothes go in that dirty hamper. And that's their own individual basket. And then they have to take them downstairs, and she's teaching them to do their own laundry with assistance, obviously, because they're young and the washer and dryer are higher. And so mom and dad help them. But then when the stuff comes out of the dryer, they're responsible for putting it in their basket and taking it up to the room. They can fold it or not. She left it up to them. What she did in their closet was got these carts that were maybe about 4 feet high and had those wire drawers that pulled out. So you have like your shirts and your shorts and your socks and your underwear, your pajamas, your long pants, whatever. They each have their own. And so they can come up and with their laundry basket, they can either just take the stuff out of the basket without folding it, put it where it belongs in those racks, or they can fold them and put them in. She said, I don't care if they don't want to fold them right now, just put them away. That's been a huge responsibility for her not to have to worry about, and she's teaching the children how to take care of their own laundry. Brilliant. It's easy, right? And then she has the little broad in the closet with some of their shirts hanging up there too, and they have a step stool they can reach up and get it. So when she says go get dressed in the morning, they just go get dressed. She doesn't have to worry about it. Another problem she doesn't have to solve. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Anything? Okay, and well, she can't. Okay, so let me tell you, Victoria. Victoria says her 5-year-old tells her to pick them up. Child has 100 excuses. Okay, yeah, please don't cater to her. Here's what you do. If she won't pick them up, and here's what we did one time. We threw their stuff in the trash. We had this great big, huge room off the back of our house. It was actually been my childcare facility at one time. And my children, my husband said, you need to clean up your toys. And they just kept refusing. So he said, if you don't clean these up by tomorrow, they're going in the trash. They didn't clean them up. We threw them out. I mean, you handle however you want, but he threw them out. And guess what? After that, they cleaned up their toys. Okay. All right. We only have a few minutes left here, so let me get into some of this. They can sort clothes. They can help you, put them in the right basket. They can help you fold laundry. I used to have I had a family childcare home, and I had the kids, when I would do towels, we'd sit down and they would help me fold towels. And we'd talk about the shape of the towel, the color of the towel, the texture of the towel, the size of the towel. So they were not only folding laundry, which they thought was really fun, but we were learning while we were doing it. So that was a blast too. Okay. So you decide in your family what's important, what you think your children are capable of doing, and that's going to depend on the ages of your child. And then sit down. You're going to have a discussion about we're all part of the family. We all work together. We're a team here. Here's what mommy and daddy do all day long. Here's what you need to do. Here's how you're going to do it. And you give them the chart and you explain it to them. Remember younger children pictures. I like the one, Trelawney, with the Velcro, just moving over. If you want to do that every day, that's perfectly fine. Create something that works for your family. Just be consistent with it every single day. But you have to remember, you're also praising them on it. You're also checking it, say, oh, I see you didn't make your bed today. What happened? Did you need help? Were you not sure? Did you just not get it done today? Okay? Then you decide, is there a consequence for that? Maybe it's no big deal they didn't make their bed that day. But remember, maybe it was a special situation. But you can't keep letting them get away with stuff because then they're not facing the consequences. And that's when we see teenagers and adults whose lives are a mess because they were never taught responsibility, accountability, and consequences. Okay? We have a couple minutes left before I have to go get my grandson. This is the last Monday I have to pick him up because they're done with the farm school. He'll be gone at their house in Pennsylvania for the summer, so I won't be picking him up. But does anybody have any questions I can answer in here? Let me go up and see. Okay, I love this one. The 7-year-old waters the plants, feeds the cat. Excellent, excellent. Okay, consequences, sure. Let me, here, Eva, however you say that, give me an idea of what the problem was. So I can give you an idea of consequences. If they say like you tell them they have to make their bed and they don't make their bed, then you can decide what the consequences for that. Consequences, you didn't make your bed, you were accountable for it, you're responsible for making your bed, you didn't do it, so now you're going to lose time to watch TV or whatever it is. Something that, like Dr. Phil always says, what's your child's currency? You'll know. Okay, good. I was just saying that as you were typing that. That's funny. So they have to have consequences for that. All right. Or you're going to lose a special privilege, or you're not going to get to go. We were going to go to the park. Now we're not going to go because you didn't make your bed. And at that point you can say, I'll give you 5 minutes to go make your bed. And they run up and make their bed and then you can go out. But you have to make sure they follow through on what they're supposed to do. You don't cut them a break. Do you think if you got a speeding ticket and the cop came to your window and you're like, you know what, I just was speeding today. I just didn't feel like driving the speed limit. He's going to go, tough. Here, you got a speeding ticket. I don't care what you felt like doing. You have a speeding ticket. So that's what I'm saying. And I'll tell you, there are times, and I've had a few speeding tickets in my life. And literally, I know I was speeding. The cop would pull me over, and I would just put the window down and go, here, give me the ticket. I'm sorry, I was speeding. Because I was being accountable and being responsible, and that was my consequence. Do I speed anymore? No, I don't want to get speeding tickets. I learned my lesson. So are your children. Okay, it's been great talking with you all. Remember, if you want to order that ebook, hit me at 365, DM me 365. If you want the link to the Happy Home Agreements, put happy, DM me those, and I will send you those links. And I will not see you next week, but happy Memorial Day for those of you in the U.S. And I will see you all on June the 3rd, where we're talking about Happy Home Agreements. All right, y'all. Have a good one.